But really appreciate it. Like I said, it's just really cool hearing your stories, and I'm really looking forward to sharing with our readers.
By 2050, there will be 2 billion more people on this planet. 2 billion. And you think traffic is bad now. But think about how much more food, how much more materials, how much more energy we will need in a planet that is already having trouble keeping up with resources. It's really a daunting thought. But this is why we are here. This is why what we do is so important. And really, in Novo Nordisk, we do believe that biology holds the answer to many of these challenges. Our biosolutions are tiny agents of change that we all interact with, from the food that we eat to the fuel that we put in our tanks. And people ask me, what do you mean by biosolutions? Well, it's very simple. It's enzymes and microorganisms that keep us going. And these tiny forces of nature are really responsible for keeping the planet as it is and running the fundamental processes. And it is with biotechnology that we can harness this power to shape a better world for us and for the next generation.
There's so much optimism around technology, innovation, growth. But with that growth, you have to have resources that can sustain the growth. And, Tony recognized that there was an opportunity, there was kind of a gap in manufacturing and people who could just aid and support in small scale manufacturing. Now we're at the next step up from that. And that support doesn't really exist in the country, and we're going overseas for it.
That's the same.
But now I've got the uncertainty of tariffs, right? So we're a U.S.-based company. We'd love to do manufacturing here, but we either have to get investment to build that manufacturing, or that infrastructure needs to exist, right? And so, for us, kind of the uncertainty around how does the timing work, and quite frankly, does DC understand that, that there's this. There's a timing issue that we need resources, we need infrastructure to allow companies in the U.S. to build up that kind of manufacturing presence.
It's amazing how much innovation is being done right now, which is being driven by a couple of things. So first, sort of this nature positive movement that we have in the world right now, where people want healthier food. They know a lot about how their food is grown, where their food is grown, and they're demanding more sustainable solutions to that. But in addition to that, we're looking for, to Renee's point, things that will reduce greenhouse emissions, reduce reliance on petrochemicals, and ways to sustain the growing population in the world, but also right here in North Carolina. And so we've got 30 customers in our Rolodex right now, and 80% of them are right here in North Carolina, which makes me pretty proud to think about how we're helping drive economic development in the state. And these folks are doing anything from creating, probiotics for livestock to reduce reliance on antibiotics that go into our food supply. They're developing soil amendments and bio-based crop protection products to get away from petrochemical-based pesticides, which, by the way, we'll never go without those very valuable tools, but we are looking for some sustainable solutions to, again, fill in the growing needs of a growing population.
We train a lot of your workers and your employees, whether they leave us and go directly into the workforce, whether they begin their educational careers with us and transfer to a university. And so we're the foundation for those students. And the unique things about community colleges, we can offer specialized training. So it's not so much this is what we offer, it's what can we offer, what does the industry need, and we can tailor that specialized training to the industry needs. With our new partnerships now with the public schools, through the Career and College Promise program and things, students can take we're teaching high school students community college classes. They can get those classes absolutely free while they're still in high school. So I would say it starts even before community college. It starts in the high schools now. Because they can almost graduate with our early college program on campus. We have high school students graduating with their high school diploma and a 2-year degree.
We have from the early
just getting their foot in the door in community colleges through PhD programs at our universities, major research and innovation, all the way through manufacturing and putting drugs and materials out the door. So we really are, a true, complete ecosystem here, which has tremendous opportunity. We can see from the growth and we can see from the employment what's happening. But that story we have to keep telling them at the federal level, that certainly at our state legislators that are there, because again, we're severely impacted by what goes on. I think at the state level, we've been in a pretty good place for a number of years. Our state is very business friendly. We've gotten good rankings. We have a life sciences caucus at the state level. And that's really provided us, as far as an industry, that avenue to be able to talk to our legislators.
Yes, last year we had $10 billion of announced projects coming into the state. That is a record times 10 for us as a state to get that much investment, 6,500 jobs. It just is an amazing, when you start adding this up, $125,000 salaries, partnerships with community colleges and universities, and what we've tried to do is stay at the center of this industry and go, who do we know, what's going on, how can we help connect people? And I feel like North Carolina is more connected than the people we compete with. And I look at our state, and when you're in the 50s and we're the third, fourth state in the country.
Right.
And you look at where it went in the 60s, 70s, 80s, look where it's at today, top 10, what did we do? We worked together, we innovated, we are very complementary of one another, we help each other. And I think that's super evident to anybody we talk to.